Hey guys, welcome back to Quad Nation, and I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. I can go just as fast in 4th gear as I can in 5th gear. Now the riddle to this will be explained. Let me explain on the dry erase board for just a moment, and then we'll get back to ripping Megatron. But I'm going to pull 84 miles an hour in 4th gear on a 730 Raptor, excuse me, a 734 Raptor, and I'm only going to make about 86 in 5th. It's the speed limiter. Yes, even with the Power Commander 5, there's still a speed limiter, but I'm going to show you guys how to break that. Alright, this is the answer to the riddle. 5th gear, timing retard. Even when you have a big 3 with a PC5 fuel controller, it does not eliminate the ECU information that tells it to retard timing in 5th gear. That's why it'll be next to impossible to hit 100 miles an hour on a Yamaha Raptor unless you do what I'm about to tell you to do. Okay. I believe I have a fix to this, but it's going to take some money, not too much, but a little bit of money, and it's going to take some unique dyno tuning. So we can get it done. Follow me through this and I'll explain what you got to do. It will be possible to hit 100 miles an hour or very close to it, high 90s, with the current big bore setup that I have. But right now we're pulling 86. You'll see here shortly in the video, but this is why we're only pulling 86. So hang with me. Let me go ahead and explain this. So a stock Raptor, although a very powerful machine, one of the most powerful you can buy in the world, it really isn't that powerful for very long. Okay, a stock Raptor, although 700, that's what they call it, 700 Raptor, it only has 686 cc with a 10.5 to 1 compression ratio piston. This is the graph. At Chris Hall Performance, Chris would roll on the throttle at about 3,000 RPMs, and you'll see it slowly builds power up to its peak. You see horsepower here, RPMs here. Only for about 1,000 RPM is it pulling 45 horsepower. Slowly builds, 7,000 RPMs, hits its peak, 45 horsepower, in a very short, small window of time. Okay, you can see after 8,000 RPMs, even in 4th gear. So let me make it clear, there's only retard timing or timing retard in 5th gear. So in 4th gear, there's no effect, but it still plummets. Look at this, it plummets to 9,000 RPMs. You're only pulling 25 horsepower. So a 700 Raptor in the stock form at redline only has about 25 horsepower. That's why you can't pull 5th gear much beyond 7,000 RPMs. It just does not have the power. It starts falling on its face. 4th gear you can pull up to about 8,000 RPMs, but after 8,000 RPMs it plummets. Okay, so stock Raptor, not very powerful compared, yes, powerful machine, but when you compare to the supporting mods here, that dyno graph looks very weak. Then you look at the big 3. What is a big 3? It is still a 686 cc, but it has a full system exhaust. In my case, Megatron has a monster full system exhaust. You have a PC5 fuel controller, Power Commander, and FCI intake. You can see here when Chris Hall rolled on the throttle at 3,000 RPMs, it built power much sooner and much more aggressive. It went up, hits up to 60 horsepower very quickly at around 6,000 RPMs, okay? And it held 60 horsepower for almost around 8,000. It held 60 horsepower much longer, okay? You can see this opportunity of optimal power much greater than the window of 45 horsepower. So that's why you've seen in my videos a big 3 Raptor dominated a stock Raptor. I mean I showed you guys, it is unreal. I was like 3 football fields in front of him by the time I topped out. But look at this. Again, these are 4th gear runs, so there's no where this plummets. It's not because of the timing being retarded. This is where it just, the engine, the way it's functioning with those mods, it plummets. It falls on its face. But look what we gained here. We gained 20 horsepower, okay, by just going with the big 3. 20 horsepower at over rev. You see this? This is around 9,000 RPMs. We gained 85 to 9,000. We gained 20 horsepower at over rev. So although we only gained about 15 horsepower for peak horsepower, we gained 20 at over rev, and we gained 15 horsepower for a very wide window of opportunity compared to a stock Raptor. A stock Raptor was only building about 35 horsepower, where the big 3 was already building 60. So if you look at these numbers, it's quite impressive, okay? Then we went to the big bore, 734 ATHENA big bore, and I wanted a bit more power than just the big bore alone could offer, so I went with a high compression 12.5 to 1 piston. Initially, based on the research that I'd done, I thought that it was good with pump fuel, which you guys know I have determined on the channel it requires race fuel, even though they say that that is the limit for pump fuel. When it gets hot, it pre-detonates, so make sure you're running race fuel with that. Look what the big bore did. Look at this graph. That red graph absolutely dominates this board. Look at this. Look how aggressive. Shoots up like you're shooting to the moon. Chris Hall rolled on the throttle at 3,000. It built power quick. By the time within 2,000 RPMs, we were at our peak horsepower of, it did peak out at 72, but for the most part it held 70 horsepower. It's shot to the moon. What does a stock Raptor do around 5,000 RPMs? It's only at about 30 horsepower. A big bore with a 12.5 to 1 piston is running literally 40 horsepower more with a bigger bore, not by much, but 50 cc, and a higher compression piston by 2 points. Literally 40 horsepower. So when you roll on the throttle in 5th gear on a stock Raptor, you're pulling 30 horsepower. My Raptor Megatron is literally more than twice the horsepower. So when you're at 5,000 RPMs, the engine is really, it feels very strong there because you're building tons of power around that time. But listen, as a stock Raptor, you're only still at 30, twice the horsepower with a big bore, high compression piston. That is insane. But I want you guys to notice something else though. With this big bore, look what it does. When it comes up and finally plateaus, it holds that power, 70 horsepower, for a very long time. In fact, it's at 70 horsepower when with the big 3, you're only around 55 horsepower. That's 20-something horsepower. Then when you're holding 72, it bumps up to 72 horsepower at the very end. I don't know if that has to do with the high compression piston, but at the very end, it's like, boop, bumps up to 72. That's when your big 3 is only generating about 55 horsepower. And then it holds 72 down to the red line at around 9,500 RPMs, which is over rev. And where is your big 3? It's around 40 horsepower. So a big bore is literally 30 horsepower over a big 3 at over rev, at red line. But look what it is over a stock Raptor. A stock Raptor has like 15 horsepower. It can't even go beyond, actually, it doesn't even go beyond 9,000 really. Just doesn't have the power. And look at this. You're looking at, let's just say we go to 25 horsepower, where it was at 9,000 RPMs, 25 horsepower. You're still holding 72 horsepower with the big bore. That means you have nearly 50 horsepower, about 47 or so, over a stock Raptor at redline. That is beyond comprehension, considering all you really did was an exhaust, fuel controller, intake, and a big bore with a high compression piston. To gain that much horsepower, triple the power over a stock Raptor at overrev for $2,000 in parts is insane. That is crazy. But 100 miles an hour is still not achievable. But even though having triple the horsepower, remember, a stock Raptor is capable of about 73 to 75 miles an hour. Why is it that with triple the horsepower, I can only achieve 86? You'll see in the video, I pulled 84 miles an hour at 9,500 RPMs in fourth gear, and when I clicked into fifth, I was only able to achieve 86. Considering I have triple the horsepower, 73 to 86 is not very impressive. Well, this is why. What's happening is a stock Raptor right here can achieve about 73 miles an hour at about a stock Raptor can achieve 73 miles an hour at about 6,400 RPMs. And at that time, it's running around 35 horsepower. When I'm up here, my fourth gear does not retard timing. So I can pull from 73 miles an hour around those RPMs. I can hold and gain power and speed all the way to red line, which gives me 84 miles an hour. But I run out of gear. I hit red line. Fifth gear, I drop it back into gear. Fifth gear, I'm at about 8,000 RPMs. I'm at about 84 miles an hour at 8,000 RPMs in fifth gear. Why can I not pull that speed with that power? What is happening is, look at this pink line. That is my fifth gear. When you click into fifth gear from 84 miles an hour right here, we drop it back to about 8,000 RPMs, and this is fifth gear. This is what the ECU tells the Raptor. It retards the timing and plummets the power. So when I gained about 84 at 2 miles an hour, so I was right around about 8,000 RPMs. I'm only probably generating, if I had to guess, about 60 horsepower. 60 horsepower, and it might even be a little bit less. It could be around 55. 60 horsepower, 55 horsepower in fifth gear, pushing that wind and just the mechanisms. The Raptor cannot breach 86 to 88 miles an hour. I did hit 88 at one point in time. It cannot breach the 90 mile an hour threshold with only about 55 to 60 horsepower in fifth gear, because you can see, look at fifth gear, falls on its face. And the faster I go, the more the power's plummeting. So it is going to be next to impossible. So what is the answer? The answer is, after talking to several folks that are deep into this stuff, we're going to keep these mods. And we should be able to hit 100 miles an hour. But what we're going to do is we are going to send the ECU off to Alba. They're going to reflash it. Hopefully that in itself tells the ECU no longer to retard timing, because the government wants you to retard the timing in fifth gear so you don't go too fast. And the faster you go, the more fun you're going to have, more emissions you're going to blow into the sky. And the government specifically puts hold on, I'm thinking real hard right now. The government puts these regulations on these quads, and what they want you to do is they want your quad to be weak as hell, so you're burning less fuel and melting less glaciers. And he is going to win 2024. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So what we got to do is we're going to flash the ECU. If that in itself does not work, then this is what we do. There's another way around this. You dyno each gear individually. I don't know why I just circled the RPMs, but you dyno each gear individually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. it should not be pulling timing ever on any of these 4. If it pulls timing on 5th gear, what we're going to do is we'll see that on a dyno. Normally you never dyno a machine in 5th gear, but a few exceptions, and this is going to be one of them. We're going to dyno it in 5th gear, all of the gears. We'll have a specific map for each gear, and when we click it into 5th, if it shows that it's retarding the timing, we will add to it. We will advance timing. So if that doesn't work, this should. And we should be able to breach 100 miles an hour with this kind of power. And if not, we'll be close to, we'll at least be in the high 90s. And if that doesn't work, guess what? Piss on it. I'll do an 815 stroker for you guys with a 14.5 the piston. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just do 2 engines in Megatron. 2 700s with a big turbo, NOS, all that stuff. But anyways, so something I want to point out real quick. So this is it. This is the last thing I want to say. This is possible. We can achieve 100. But just to prove to you guys that this is happening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another run. So you're going to see the runs right now, 84 and 86. You're going to see me pull it in 4th gear up to 86 at like 9,500 RPMs. And you're going to see when I click it in a 5th, I only gain 2 miles an hour because it just starts plummeting on its face. Even though I'm clicking it into another gear, and in theory, when you click it in another gear, that gives you room to continue to accelerate because you have all those RPMs again. But it's falling on its face, so it's no good. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to prove to you guys that the retarding timing theory is real. I'm going to just make my 4th gear longer. I'm going to gear it higher. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the bigger sprocket up front, a 15 tooth, and I'm going to put the smaller sprocket on the back, which is, I believe, a 36 tooth. And so essentially I'm going to make my 4th gear longer. Doing that, I should be able to still, because it's not going to be dropping power, I should be able to move, instead of doing 84 and 9,500, I should be able to gain about 5 to 7 miles an hour, which would bring me up to about 96. If it has the power to push 96 miles an hour with 72 horsepower. Alright, I'm going to show you guys with an 80 horsepower 734 Raptor with a high compression 12.5 to 1 piston, I can pull nearly 9,000 RPMs in 4th gear, reaching 84 miles an hour. Here we go. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7,000, bullshit! 8,000 RPMs! I pulled 84 in the past. Maybe it's the wind. Let's try it the other way. Headwind means a lot. Let's go ahead and rip it back the other way. Come on, baby. I know you pulled 84. 82 is still impressive in 4th gear. Alright, this is 5th gear. And I'm going to shift down. 4th gear, full send. We hit 83. That was impressive. 83. That's just giving me chills, guys. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there is a storm rolling in. There's a good crosswind. I must have been on a day that didn't have as much wind, But if it was a beautiful, calm day, 84 miles an hour. This is insane. 83 miles an hour. Like I said, I had pulled 84 before. Before we end the video, I'm going to pull 84 out of her. Here we go. This is first gear, guys. Second, third, fourth. Oh hell, my wife's calling. Baby, you're gonna have to wait a minute. I'm in the middle of something. 8,000, 8,300. 84, guys! I pulled 84! Miles an hour! I just got chills, guys! Oh! Alright, this time I'm gonna shift into fifth. You guys are gonna see all it does is pretty much just lower the RPMs. Here we go. First, second, third, fourth. RPMs, 80 and 50. 82, 83, 4. Made 85, guys. Oh hell, my helmet's coming off. 85. I pulled 86 before. I'm gonna do one more run. We should be able to pull 86 out of her. So what I'm going to demonstrate on this last run is really interesting. I'm going to pull fourth gear to its max, 83, 84 miles an hour. And I'm going to shift into fifth, and you're going to see it really just drops the RPMs. I will be able to pull her up to about 86, but considering you're doing 84 in fourth gear, that's not too impressive to gain 2 mile an hour just in final gear. So what's happening is, like I explained on the board, the Raptor is retarding timing, dropping my horsepower from 80 horsepower down to probably about 40. Second, third, fourth. Oh hell, I don't want to do it with the semi there, just in case I wipe out. Hail to the nah. We'll wait. We'll wait, because if I just blow a tire or sling a rod, I don't want to be in the grill of that semi. No, thank you. I'm not going to end up like a dragonfly today. Alright, here we go. First gear, guys. Second, third, fourth, and full send! 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 8,600. 9,000 RPMs, 82, 84, 85. Oh, shit, that just gave me chills. Oh, guys. Now y'all wonder why Quad Nation ain't on drugs like everyone else. I have an unlimited supply of adrenaline. Oh man, that was insane! Oh my god, I'm not joking, guys. This was probably one of the first times I've ever gotten chills on top speed. This is just unreal.